Hey folks, Crazy Clown Radio here again. And this time we're going to look at Versus Castlevania. And this is the Nintendo Versus Cabinet version of Castlevania. And the original was created for the Nintendo Entertainment System, created by Konami in 1987. But, yeah, this one is quite a bit harder than the Nintendo Entertainment System version. I didn't do a full playthrough of this game just because it was taking too long. I mean, I played Castlevania a million times for the NES, so it was decent enough to get at least somewhere. I think I got to the end of the third level. Maybe I got a little further than that. I can't remember for sure, but I just wanted to show you snippets of the later parts of the game, but it's definitely harder than the NES version. This was created in 1987, as was the NES version, I believe. But for the uninitiated who haven't played this, you are a vampire hunter and you have a whip, and you go through this castle to ultimately destroy Dracula. And there are various enemies that you encounter that'll hurt you and eventually kill you if you're not careful. But from these candles in the castle, you can collect weapons. You can collect sub-weapons, and those will be other than your main whip. And you can collect items that will increase the length of your whip. And you only need 2 of those items, and then your whip is at full length. And we start outside the castle, and there is my sub-weapon. It's a dagger, and there is one hidden treasure right at the beginning. Jump over the entrance to the castle, and you can collect it. But there are a ton of those hidden items in the game. We'll look at some of them later. There are 6 levels. The major differences between this game and the NES one, which is much easier, is the enemies take off a lot more damage in this game, and you get less time to complete a level. If you run out of time, you die. And sometimes you can whip blocks, and they'll have special items for you. Now here was a trick I used to do in the NES version. You would get like extra lives, I think every 20,000 or something in the NES version, and you could use that firebomb, your secondary weapon, on those ghosts time and again. And the more ghosts you nail with one firebomb, the more points you got. The more bonus points, and you could just work towards a bunch of extra lives that way. Well, it takes more points to get extra lives in this game, so it is not a feasible strategy. Plus, you got less time to complete the level in before you die. And there was another hidden bonus item, and those bonus items are in the NES version too. I think they're all in the same place in this versus version as the NES version. But the game almost entirely plays the same. But like I said, the enemies cause more damage. I think in the NES version, they only take off like 2 or 4 blocks of your energy. And in this one, they take off like 4 to 6, or 6 to 8, or so. I can't remember for sure, but they definitely take off more damage. And here's the first boss, and he's painfully easy. The best weapon to use against him is an axe. The sub-weapons, you press up and the attack button, and you'll use one, and it costs hearts, which you need to collect. And you can collect hearts from those candles that you destroy. And here's the start of the second level, and right off is another hidden item You break open that wall, go in, and then go down the stairs, and you collect this crown. This is another weapon, the boomerang, and this is a great weapon. There is also an item that you can uncover through certain broken blocks, sometimes other means. There it is the double, and once you get the double, then you might be able to unveil a triple, and that determines how many sub-weapon attacks you can have at once. And to have a triple firebomb against a boss is a fantastic luxury. Here's another trick. You just stand here on these blocks, you uncover that treasure there. But yeah, the NES version of Castlevania, it's easily one of the top, probably top 10 to 15 NES games of all time. This that first part has frustrated many gamers that I just got through. That pit there with the Medusa heads. The Medusa heads are one of the most annoying enemies in all the Castlevania. In all the Castlevania games. Sometimes you can uncover food from hidden blocks, hidden blocks, and that food will restore like half your energy, or more. I mean, if you have half energy left, then it'll totally refill it. Now you got to watch out for these little spiked things that drop down. If it touches you, you are automatically dead. So you got to move through at the right time. And then these things up here, these double snake-headed pillars, they will shoot fire at you. There's the triple. I love the triple. It's great. And I could throw 3 boomerangs like bang 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 if I wanted to. Whoops. Yeah, these guys just take off 4 blocks, but other guys can take off like 6 blocks of energy. Yeah, it's really a lot more difficult than the NES version. Uh-oh. Hear that sound? I have got to get to the boss. You have a lot less time than in the NES version to complete a level. The boss is a giant Medusa head that releases snakes at you. Can I beat her in 15 seconds? Got my triple boomerangs going. Ouch. Come on, die. Shoo! After you beat a boss, you have to collect that red crystal that falls down. And you get a bonus points for remaining hearts or a sub-weapon left. I used up all my sub-weapons, so I didn't get a bonus for them. Some sub-weapons require more hearts than just one. I think the firebomb requires more hearts than just one to use each time. And this is another annoying enemy in the Castlevania universe. I guess you can make them disappear if you force them off the screen just a little bit and back up. But the hunchbacks there are among the most annoying enemies in Castlevania. Apart from the Medusa heads, those are the worst. You are automatically dead if you fall into an abyss. And those birds are kind of annoying too. Oh, there's a double. You get your double or triple, I think, taken away at the beginning of a level. There's another hidden treasure. Yeah, the original NES version of Castlevania is definitely one of the greatest NES games of all time, and it's a fantastic series. They're still making games for it. My favorite of all of them, this one's way up there. I liked Symphony of the Night quite a bit for PlayStation 1. Ouch! Damn it! But yeah, once you die, you have your whip brought back to this little shoestring. It's really crappy and ineffective. You need it at full strength or full length, and you get your subweapon taken away. Now here is another hidden treasure here coming up. Duck down here. There is also a stopwatch, and that will stop time for a few seconds. It works against the first boss. Maybe it was the first couple bosses, but that's it. It won't work against any of the rest of them. But yeah, those double snakehead tower things are really annoying, and sometimes the clock is a good use against them. And when they turn red, they're about to fire off a shot, and they fire off 2 shots, one after the other. You can whip the shots. I don't believe you can duck under them. And there's more friggin' birds. Ah, damn it! But yeah, you can see that the enemies... Ah, damn it. The enemies can take off a big chunk of energy just with one hit. The boss of this game is 2 mummies, and they hit you with flying bandages. And they're tough on this game because of the extra damage that enemies deal. On the NES version, I was able to just go into a corner and just whip the shit out of them, and they'd go down soon enough. You know, if I didn't have a ton of energy, I was still okay, but you've got to conserve your energy in this freaking game, or in this version of Castlevania. Now I switched over to the dagger. That last block on the left gives you a piece of meat, and you better frickin' pick it up. They'll eventually corner you and touch you. Ah, god damn it. But yeah, we'll skip forward and I'll beat the mummies. I was running out of time that time too. But yeah, I'll just skip forward and I'll show you parts of the remaining levels. I think I put invincibility on at some point or another. Now on this one, you fall down. It's kind of weird. You fall way down to this area, and you don't die when you land on the ground. The music is so awesome in Castlevania. Nearly all versions of... Ah, that's annoying. You can get knocked off the platform to your death by that stupid bat. The bats are also an annoying Castlevania staple. Here you have to duck, or else you'll get your head whacked into that rock, and you'll fall down into the water and die. Apparently, Simon Belmont, who's the hero of the game here, can't swim. But once you get to the end here, you go up these stairs, and then you have to whip a ton of hunchbacks that get dropped off by these eagles. You can also whip the eagles if you jump and attack. But the hunchbacks will hop around and really start to annoy you. Oh, you wanna get those invincibility jars if you can help it, because you'll have like, I don't know, 8 seconds of invincibility. And then here's that skeleton dragon that we saw in the attract mode earlier. And there's gonna be like 4 or 5 of them in this little area here. We'll scoot ahead, and yeah, each section of the dragon, when you kill him, will give you like usually hearts, sometimes money bags. But here is a boss that is super easy if you have the triple firebomb. Just stand over here and just keep dropping them, and Frankenstein and his hunchback on his shoulder can do nothing. And it's that easy. That was just a large heart. The large heart gives you 5 hearts, and a single heart that floats down slowly, gives you one. But yeah, bosses can be made super easy with the triple firebomb. This next area, the boss is the Grim Reaper, and firebombs don't work quite as well on him. The boomerang is much better. See, if you give the Hunchback time, he can really annoy you. He'll just hop around and... you asshole. And those bone guys that toss the bones around can be annoying if you don't take care of them. See, the Hunchbacks can't quite reach me from down there. Yeah, I've forgotten if there were any breakable blocks, or where they were on this level. But if you can learn where the blocks are that have the meat that restores your life, that's definitely going to be an asset. Especially on this game where the enemies really put the hurt on you more than the NES version. Oh crap. Well, those red skeletons, they will not die. And there's one below there. And I just defeated an axe knight that is also very annoying, and he throws axes that act like boomerangs. They come back to him, and he can throw them high or low, and he takes a lot of whips to destroy. So if you can use the firebomb on him, that's very helpful. There's another annoying snake guy. And again, watch for their color to change. Yeah, we're scooting forward a little bit. Now I've got not only to deal with him, but these stupid Medusa heads too. Yeah, I put on invincibility. I mean, or infinite energy, I should say. And like I said, the boss of this area is coming up, and he's the Grim Reaper, and he's tough. Unless you have, like, the boomerang. Then he's a lot easier. And he will send flying sickles at you. You can whip them, but they'll just regenerate and still come back after you. And even after you beat him, the sickles are still coming after you, so you gotta take care of them. Then pick up the crystal. And we're almost to the final level, where Dracula is the boss at the end. This was very hard for a lot of NES gamers back in the day. But it's a good stiff challenge, but it's certainly worth playing. This is the hardest part in the game, in my opinion, even more than the following area, which is also a pain in the butt, but this is the worst. Those first boss bats from the beginning of the game, you have to face, I think it's like 5 or 6 of them. One after another, and they can knock you off the edge of the platform into the abyss to die. So friggin' hard. And this is where the clock or the stopwatch would be very handy. We're gonna scoot past all of them though. But yeah, you can freeze them with the stopwatch, and you can just get past all of them that way. So yeah, if you had the clock, that would be very helpful. And now we go up in this clock tower. There's skeletons and there's more hunchbacks. Ah, god damn you. Well, yeah, I've got infinite energy on still. And more skeletons that toss bones at you. And then there's gears you can jump onto. More hunchbacks, more eagles that throw them. God damn it. Jeez. But yeah, the Versus version of Castlevania is a real pain in the ass. And here is Dracula's quarters coming up. notice the music starts to change. And a boomerang is very helpful. But there is also a firebomb coming up, and that's not nearly as good a weapon. And I grabbed it. Whoops. Well, here, you have to whip Dracula's head when he formates, and then he will spit out 3 fireballs from his cloak. He can teleport to anywhere around the room, and oftentimes it seems he's going to teleport right on top of you and hurt you. Yep. And since he takes off like 6 blocks of energy, at least, you don't want to give him that opportunity to touch you as he teleports. Now this version of Dracula, this skeleton, you have to hit his head, and you can freeze him with the firebomb, which is nice. Sometimes he jumps high, and sometimes he jumps low, and he'll spit some more fireballs at you. But yeah, using that firebomb will freeze him for a few seconds. Let's skip forward so I can kill him here. And there we go. Once you beat the game, you will play through it all again. And there will be additional challenges like bats in areas where there weren't before. And maybe Medusa heads too. And a number of the treasures, the hidden treasures, will be in different places, or there'll be new ones. And then you get this really weird credits scene where they have strange names. Bram Stoker, James Banana, Christopher B. Very weird credits. Boris Karloffis. What? Love Shaney Jr. Nick, goofy names of actors or writers. Silly. Joan Candies. What? Simon Belmondo. Is that supposed to be a Hispanic version of Simon Belmont, the hero of this game? But that is the Versus version of the NES classic Castlevania. And see, they have bats out here now, where they didn't from the first time we played. It is Versus Castlevania, the arcade version of the NES classic, and it's much harder. And here's a game over screen. You get 7 seconds to put in a credit and continue, which I decided not to do here. But that is Versus Castlevania by Konami in 1987. This is Crazy Climber 80 saying thanks for watching Versus Castlevania by Konami in 1987. I will catch you later with another video. I'll probably do some more Versus ones in the future sometime. Well, I hope you enjoyed, and have a nice rest of your weekend. Bye, folks.